Hello and welcome back to my channel. For this video I am making a gingerbread acorn house. So first of all, I have stamped a bunch of images from various Lawn Fawn stamp sets. The ones I have used have been Sweet Christmas, A Creature Was Stirring, Tiny Gingerbread, Oh Snap, Car Critters, and Let's Go Nuts. For these I am using my E31 and 35 markers. I did at one point think I might bring in some E57, but it was already plenty dark. I don't think I've found my perfect gingerbread color yet. So for the ink that I used to stamp these images out in, I used Lawn Fawn's Crunchy Leaf alcohol-friendly ink. And I chose this ink so that the lines wouldn't be so harsh compared to the no lines of my die cut acorn house. Now for the little tree, it was supposed to be a cookie anyway. I'm making it look obviously like a little iced gingerbread cookie, but I'm also going to do that for the wreath, which came from the little Car Critters Christmas add-on set, and it was obviously not intended to be a cookie to start with, but I thought the door could use it and it would be really cute, so I tried to make the outside edge and the inside edge both be cookie color. Moving on to my Acorn House die cut, I am going to color them with the same colors that I used for my gingerbread cookies. Word of caution here, do not try this if you do not have a juicy marker. Mine, thankfully, I have a refill for this one. I don't own many Copic refills, but this is one I had a refill for. And if I hadn't, I would have been really disappointed in myself for even attempting this. The reason I didn't use an ink to blend over my die cut pieces was because I wanted it to look the same as all of my other gingerbread cookies. I probably could have got it pretty close with just some inks, but I did what I did. So yeah, just make sure that you're using juicy markers. Right here, I'm going to color the doors, or the door, not doors, there's only one. The door and the windows, both with the exact same colors I colored the rest of the house. I actually did not use the windows, but at this point during my card making process, I did not know if I would use them or not. So I cut them and colored them and decided later that it was unnecessary. So now I have two random tannish windows. I guess I'll save them for another project if my toddler doesn't get a hold of them first. Here, I tried the same kind of texture I did on the gingerbread people. I don't think I love it on this. I just think the area is maybe too big and open for this to really work. I don't know. I'll have to revisit this at some point and see if I can come up with something better with what I have. Now, something I've never used in my craft videos, my Quickie glue pen. And now I'm bringing out my Prismaglitter. I am going to make my little gumdrops look sugared. And I figured the best way to do this is just add little dots with my glue pen and then dunk it in the glitter. So that's what I did. I think it turned out fairly well. This was a little tedious. And I do wish I had covered over the little stamped dots first on that first one, but I didn't. And ultimately, I guess it doesn't matter. You're not really going to notice. But here's my little sugared gumdrop. Now I wanted to add some glossy finish to some of my other pieces. So I am using this pokey tool and some Nuvo drops in the color Morning Dew, which is just a clear Nuvo drop. You could use glossy accents if you wanted. I couldn't get mine to unclog, so I am going to cover my candy canes, my little peppermints, and the icing on my little tree cookies and my wreath. I did this way in advance because I knew it would take a little while to dry. Alright, so I did decide to add a little bit of the Nuvo drops on the buttons of my gingerbread cookies. Now I didn't do this for the very tiny ones that I colored, but I did do it for the small ones and the large ones. Alright, here I am going to ink blend on my card base using tumbled glass, and broken china distress oxide inks. This isn't anything special. I didn't have to struggle real hard with this ink blend. All I wanted was a blue sky, a little bit lighter at the top, a little bit darker at the bottom. I didn't have to worry about the very bottom of the card because I knew I would be covering it up with snow. For my snow, I used my stitched hillside borders and some glittery Lawn Fawn paper, and I just cut out a little strip to go across the bottom of my card. Now it is a little bit longer than my card base, and I just glued it and trimmed the edges to fit. And I will say, while that was a stitched die, I did not use the part that actually made the stitching lines because it didn't really fit with anything else. But I still liked the cleanness of the cuts, so that's why I didn't do that by hand. Right here, I'm just going over the top of my acorn a little bit with my darker marker. Figured it needed a little something, and I wasn't really sold on my speckly cookie texture. And I blended out with the lighter color again, just a little bit, which later I do go over this with white gel pen. So I don't know if this was super necessary. I did it anyway. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue my acorn top onto the house, and then glue that to the card base. And then I am going to add my door and figure out, oh wait, nope, back up. Wrong. I did my little gumdrop roof first. How could I forget? All I did was apply tiny little drops of liquid glue. At this point, I think most of these things had been dry for, I think I did half of them the first day, and then the second half, I think I had let them dry for about 30 minutes. And here I'm just showing you, the glue is really just at the cross sections of each of the little, what would you even call that? I don't know, the little details on the roof. So not helpful. For my door, I am gluing it down with liquid glue, and I am not gluing I'm only gluing around the edges, I should say. I'm not gluing the actual door down because I do plan on sticking something behind there in a little bit. And now it's just gluing my little details on my house. This was actually pretty fun to make. I thought about doing my pumpkin in a sort of theme like this, and I contemplated whether or not I could get away with the mushroom, but ultimately I just decided that the acorn was the only one that had a roof that was really good for gumdrops, I guess. I don't know. In here I'm just putting down different things for the background. I thought the trees and the little lollipops would be cute along the background. And for my big gumdrops, I'm just making a little path to the door, and I'm using tiny little squares of foam tape to kind of pop them up. I will say that I made this card a little over a week ago, and I do try to get my video edited and my voiceover done in a relatively decent time. I guess decent is kind of subjective, but I usually like to get it done within a couple days after I have finished filming. And I got sick because my toddler got sick. Oh, here real quick, white gel pen, and I'm just adding little icing details on my gingerbread guys and girls. And I use the smaller nibbed one for my smaller gingerbreads. I'm also going to add the white gel pen to parts of my house along the top especially. Anyway, my toddler got sick, and then I got sick, so there was about a week that I wasn't really doing a whole lot. Okay, real quick for the faces, or maybe just the eyes and the nose. For those details on my little squirrels, I am using this Micron Sepia liner. I just felt like it would help the faces stand out a little bit better without it being too harsh. For my sentiment, I am using a couple different sentiments from different stamp sets. Like it was Have a Sweet Christmas, and that was in one of the stamp sets, but I wanted it to look a little bit different font wise. So I stamped one in red, one in green, and like I said, they were both from a different stamp set. And then I added little dots of glue and added some glitter to make it look kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really look like snowfall necessarily, just to add a little bit more to the background to give it a little something extra. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye!